His name's Hamburger, and my name's Helper, and this is the Kickin Podcast.
I really do like those. They're getting better each week.
I enjoy you not knowing what I'm gonna say, and then getting to say it and get your genuine reaction.
Yes, because we always talk about this every day at work,
Yes.
and I just never know what to expect.
Yep. No, I gotta keep you on your toes there, buddy.
True. So we actually have quite a fun episode tonight. We have quite a few different things planned that we are going to talk about, including a little quiz that I found where it's just technically simple questions that we're going to take, and we're going to see who can get the most right. I think there's only like 10 questions or so. It's kind of stupid, but we're going to do it anyways.
Yeah. So we'll probably just end up taking it together and see if we can get any of these right. Probably, but
Yeah. I haven't seen them, but it just kind of came across my Facebook earlier, so I started looking into that. Figured it'd be fun for us to try it out and see.
So we got Goofy Quiz. We got lots of cigar news this week.
Yeah.
Actually, more than normal, which is cool. And then we are also going to answer some frequently asked questions that actually our young Joseph here has what is the word I'm looking for? Collected over the years, correct? Is that right? Would you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I basically just kind of compiled a list of questions that have been asked on groups, comments, on YouTube, various websites, just questions that kind of go around the internet. And whether you are a new cigar smoker or a seasoned cigar smoker, we're going to give you our opinions and our views on them because I feel like you can never get too many opinions.
True.
So we are going to answer some of those. And tonight, we might as well just hop into what we're smoking.
Yep.
Why don't you start us off, buddy? What do you got?
I am smoking tonight the Cloud Hopper. Again, you guys may not be able to see that. But the Cloud Hopper is by Warped.
Correct.
And let me get some information on this for you.
That is a blend by Kyle Gellis of
Kyle
Warped.
Gellis of Warped. Shout out
and
Kyle.
his brother, Devin.
Shout out to Devin as well. This is a Nicaraguan cigar made in the Tabacos Valle de Jalapa factory. Its binder is Nicaraguan. Its filler is Nicaraguan Corojo 99 and Criollo 98. And it was released in 2017. And I have not smoked this before, so I'm very excited to try it. What about you? What you smoking on?
I have the La Madrina by Dapper Cigars. I've smoked several of these before. This is the Toro. And just so I don't trip up over myself, the wrapper is an Ecuador Habano, Mexican San Andreas wrapper, or binder. And then it has Dominican Republic and Nicaragua fillers. And just a very good cigar. I really enjoy these a lot. I know I don't think you've ever had any of these, but
No.
these are some that you need to check out. They're very good cigars.
Very nice looking wrapper on that thing. That's the first thing when you showed it to me and I noticed was that the wrapper was...
Yeah, it does. It has a good appearance to it. Cigars are...
Dude, I didn't even cut my cigar. You ever love when you do that?
They're pretty spicy.
That'd probably help.
Now, all that said, not to skip ahead, but next week's episode we pretty much already have figured out, and we're very excited because that's actually our Halloween episode. So we already have everything planned out for next week. So go ahead and just set that aside.
Yeah. Excited to bring y'all a Halloween episode. We're still going to keep it about cigars, but we're going to have some fun with it. Might talk about Halloween movies or favorite costumes that we ever had, or I don't know, just fun stuff. So we won't take it too serious.
We're going to do a Thanksgiving and a Christmas one as well. Christmas, because I'm such a Christmas freak, I kind of insist that we just do a holiday the whole month. Christmas episodes the entire month.
We're both pretty much Christmas freaks. That's one of the first things like we realized we had in common was that we like freaking love Christmas so much. So we probably won't go as hard for the Halloween episode as we do for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because those are my two favorite holidays by far.
Same.
All right, so right off the draw on this thing, getting a little bit of black pepper, which is nice. It's got this like very like satiny, uh, almost leathery um wrapper. That's really awesome. It's almost like, you know how you got like a nice worn-in baseball glove.
Yeah,
That's kind of what this reminds me of a little bit.
very soft.
Yeah, it's got sort of a satin finish to it. Some black pepper, but it's still pretty smooth. Um, Definitely feel the pepper on the retrohale, and it does kind of linger on the tongue for quite a bit. But overall, really great initial taste. So I hope it continues throughout.
Yeah, I hear good things about those. I just bought a 5 pack probably a couple weeks ago. I got the Robusto though, which is a 5 by 48, which is kind of interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but enough about that. I haven't smoked one yet either, so I look forward to seeing how you feel about it. But the La Madrina cigars, I've never had the Toro. This is the first time with the Toro. Um, but it's just, I mean, it's a killer cigar. I mean, milk chocolate, red pepper, some nuttiness to it. Coffee comes through, sweetness. I mean, it's very like a creamy, almost like a vanilla or like a marshmallow sweetness comes through. I mean, this is a very complex cigar. So pretty excited to see so far the red pepper right off the bat, the milk chocolate, the cedar. So hopefully some of that sweetness will come through out in the Toro as well. But very excited because this is my first time with this size. So pretty excited to see how this stacks up.
And tonight we're also pairing these with a little bit of Basil Hayden, if you haven't seen it up front there, which is a small batch bourbon. And it's pretty good. I couldn't really tell you like the notes that I get off it. I mean, I can give you a little. It's a pretty smooth, kind of creamy. A little bit of hint of like vanilla in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. It's supposed to be pretty good bourbon. I've enjoyed it. Somebody gifted me this bottle, and to be honest with you, I think most of the drinking I've done of it, I've been too drunk to know how good it is. But
Explains a lot.
definitely goes nice with what I'm feeling right now. This is, you know, very smooth, kind of creamy. Offsets the black pepper I'm getting from this pretty nicely. So
Yeah.
happy with that. Basil Hayden. Of course, I'll try and leave a link for that in the description if you guys want to check that out, as well as the cigars that we're smoking.
Correct.
All right, so let's start them off. You want to start off with our frequently asked questions?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So these are our list, compiled of the frequently asked questions that you got. Are these all from Cigar Society, the group on Facebook, or different groups? Or
No. So, I mean, I got these from, I mean, I've been in other groups throughout the years. These questions have been asked in my group, Cigar Society, before. You still see them asked. I see them asked in other groups, you know, Cigars Daily, Nation. I see those still being, you know, asked a lot. I'll watch reviews and I see them in comments and so forth. And then if you just research online, some of the most asked questions, comes to find out that it's typically the questions that, you know, I feel like I asked when I first got into cigars. But still, there's still a big debate about a lot of these things between, you know, even seasoned smokers. So it
sure.
was just interesting for me to kind of look at it now that I'm more seasoned and have been smoking, you know, for about a decade now, to see, you know, where I stand now versus where I was when I first, you know,
Absolutely.
got into cigar smoking.
Yeah.
So
So let's break these down. I'll kind of I'll read them off to you. I'll let you give your thoughts on the questions, and then I'll chime in with any other additional information I might see fit. Sound good?
yes, sir.
All right. So question number 1: should I keep and everyone? I feel like everyone says this different, but cello or cello?
Yeah.
I would say cello, right?
I say Sella.
Yeah. On my cigar, or take it off, which basically is the cellophane
Mhm.
plastic. When you're storing your cigars, usually when you buy them, they come in a cellophane wrapper. So what's your take on, should you keep those on or off?
Yeah, I mean, some come with them on, some don't. But For me personally, I typically I don't really care, honestly. There's pros and cons to both. Um, so for me, if it comes with the cellophane on it, I usually just leave it on there. If
Hmm.
it, comes without the cellophane, I'm not, freaking out or anything about it. If you keep it on, there's always going to be that layer of protection.
Hmm.
So, I mean, if I'm packing a lot of cigars to go with me or something, or throw in my case, I typically would prefer it to have a cellophane on it because it's not going to be knocking around and damaging the wrapper of your other cigars. So there's that benefit to it.
Hmm.
The one of the other benefits to it as well is if you leave the cellophane on your cigar after years of aging, everybody has probably seen the term yellow cello,
Yeah.
which means your cellophane, which is clear, will turn yellow or brown, indicating the age of the cigar. Which a lot of people, especially if you go into a shop and they have, because I know our local shop, every once in a while will have some setting out, and you can look at the cello and see that it's been aging for quite a while. So generally speaking, cigars taste best when they're aged.
Yeah.
That's also its own debate. So there is that to it. And then also, it retains moisture longer. So if you take your cigar out of your humidor and it's in the cellophane and you go out for, a weekend or something like that, I mean, I always encourage to still, take Bovida or something with you. That's going to help control the humidity and maintain it. But it will retain the moisture of your cigar a little bit easier than with it not being in the cellophane.
Yeah.
So that right there already answered one of the things about keeping the cellophane off of it. um, the cigars will humidify and dehumidify quicker if the cellophane is off of it. It's easier to inspect your cigar. I frequently like to check out my cigars just to make sure they're not like knocking around. You want to make sure, mold, stuff like that, people run into sometimes. So it's
Yeah.
easier to inspect with it. And a lot of people think it just looks, and I do believe in this, but I just don't really take the time to do it. But that your cigars look, it's more attractive looking into your humidor with unwrapped cigars.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
I agree with that, but
Yeah.
also, I don't really go through the habit of popping all my cigars out of the cellophane, so it's just too tedious for me. But that is something that a lot of people like. And then, there is the best of both worlds,
Yeah.
that you can look into. And by doing that, when you have the cellophane, neither one of our cigars was in a cellophane, but cellophane has a flap that usually goes under the cigar. It's usually taped under with the price tag. But you can flip it up and it's got a little tail on it. If you cut that cello off at the foot of the cigar, keep it open, that'll still give you the protective layer that a cellophane offers, but it will also allow some more moisture to come into your cigar, with the foot being cut off. So
Yeah.
that's again just my stance on it. There's no right or wrong answer for it, honestly. So don't feel like you have to take it off or you have to leave it on. Personal preference.
Yep.
My wine adores, an eclectic mix of both. So
Yeah, I have both in mine in my humidor, and sometimes yeah, I do find that little flap annoying because it get like if, depending on how I have them stacked, they'll get caught on each other or something like that. So I will snip that from time to time. I tend to just basically if it comes with cellophane, I tend to leave it on, just because I dig into my humidor a lot, and so I feel like I need as much protection as possible because I move my cigars around a lot.
yeah,
So I say if it's on there, I just leave it on. Occasionally, I'll take it off and then end up just leaving it out, and that cigar just ends up not having it on there. But
I will recommend that if you are in your humidor a lot, like rolling your cigars around and shit,
yeah,
it's probably best to keep the cellophane on
yeah,
just for that protective layer. I mean, you wouldn't think that it would do a lot of damage to your cigars, but I mean, you go to pick up a cigar, and like your fingernail clips one underneath of it, and I
yep,
mean, cigars are very delicate, and it clips the wrapper or something like that. That's happened to me before. I mean, it's
yeah. I've
simple
cracked a,
mistake.
cracked a
So
couple, the foot of my cigar a couple
yeah,
times just by knocking it in, and it kind of
yeah,
pushes it up against like
yeah.
the wood of the humidor or something. So, all right, so yeah, that pretty much answers number one. Should I keep the cello on my cigar or take it off? Number two, frequently asked question: is there a proper way to cut and light your cigar?
Short answer is yes.
Long answer is
Yes.
Yes. You want me to take a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
first here?
you take off with that a little bit.
So yes, there is a proper way to cut and light your cigar, but there is also everyone has their own preferred way to cut and light their cigar.
Right.
So I would say the only thing that is incorrect is if you're like completely chopping the top flat, like right at the wrapper line or even below it, um, and just unraveling the cigar to hell, or if you're just like using like a pin needle thing and can barely
Yeah.
get a draw out of it or something like that. But essentially, you want to play around, you want to find your preference.
Right.
For me, I do like a little more open of a draw, a looser draw. So I feel like I get more smoke off of that. So, I will just kind of get to the point where just before the rounded part starts to bend, and I'll
Yeah.
typically just clip it right there.
Yeah.
Half across. So you probably can't see this, but I've got a nice open top, but it's not like completely flat and
Right.
completely right up against that
Yeah.
wrapper line, so that I'm not unraveling the cigar. Excuse me. But yeah, that's important. But then there's
I'd
plenty
say
of
that's probably the number one mistake that I see
yeah,
with people is when they cut their cigar, they cut, and I've seen seasoned smokers do this. Okay, so I'm not nitpicking on new cigar smokers because I flat topped my very first cigar
sure.
that I ever smoked. But over time, I mean, I take my cutter. I have a V cut, but I prefer a straight cut or a guillotine cut. Some people call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just skim very little. My object isn't even really to like cut the cap. It's just to skim a little bit off the top. And that's worked for me for probably the last like 6 or 7 years that I've been doing it. Before that, I kind of cut. If you ever had like a perfect cutter or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
just about that amount is what I would usually take off. But I've taken off less since then, just because it's not necessary. But the second mistake that I see a lot of people make is they'll take their lighter and they'll hold it like so close and just scorch
Yeah.
their cigar.
Yeah.
It's important not to do that because it's going to burn your cigar. It's going to just give it. How much can you really elaborate when it's going to burn your fucking
Yeah.
cigar? It's going to give you bad flavors off of it.
Yeah, you don't want to get all that butane in it and
Yeah.
start to get all that like chemical stuff in it, and
Plus, you just don't want to be the guy in the shop that everybody looks over and half your fucking cigar, is straight black because you fucking held a quad torch to
Right.
your, petite Lancero and just scorched the shit out of it,
Yeah, something
Which
I
I've seen
recently
happen.
got, which you guys may have saw when I lit my cigar today, was that I got this like dual. It's a jet flame, and then of course it's not gonna work right now. There it goes, and then it's a soft flame at the same time. So the jet flame, I kind of keep far away from it, toast the cigar up. Then when I'm ready to actually light the cigar, use the soft flame because the soft flame is not as hot as the
Well, I mean,
the
yeah,
jet flame.
it's soft,
Yeah.
you know.
So basically, what that allows is that I can kind of light the middle of the cigar with the soft flame, and puff it a couple times, and I don't scorch the heck out of the filler and stuff like that. So when asking about, I'd say that while both things are equally important, I feel like you can really really jack up the cigar more probably with lighting than with cutting. I mean, you can definitely do some damage with the cut and unravel the cigar, which you don't want to do. But sometimes that's you can kind of makeshift it. But ideally, you shouldn't be doing either. Just a
Right.
nice cut. You don't got to flat top it, and just toast the edge of that thing. Don't get it too hot because you want you want to be able to enjoy the flavor. You don't just want to singe
Yeah.
everything
I mean,
right off the bat.
generally, you want to look for a cool smoke off your cigar, so you don't get that by scorching the shit out of the foot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So and you can kind of play around with it. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people who um like to toast their cigar, which, I mean, you hold the flame away from it at a good distance, and the heat from the flame will just kind of toast the foot of the cigar. But there's a lot of people that are a little too impatient for that. Just depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I won't. But for the most part, I can get it fairly close, but not flame onto the foot of the cigar. And it burns perfectly fine for me. I mean, I have pretty damn good. I mean, it's almost razor sharp burn on this right now.
Yeah.
So cigars, cutters, lighters, find what you like because there's various cuts out there. There's punch, straight, V cut, whatever. Lighters, there's flat flame, single, dual, triple, quad, whatever. But for this general question, it's more technique. So there are wrong ways to do it, but there's also right ways to do it. And if we can get the word out, on how we do it, that it's not, you know, damaging our cigar or affecting our experience at all, we want to share that with you guys. 'Cause, again, I know everybody has their own technique. So
Yeah.
there's the answer to that one.
Like right now, even I'm had just a little bit of trouble with mine going out, probably because we're talking. And so, just touch up the sides, kind of, didn't hit it too hard just to make sure the burn's nice and even. So you're not getting like a big canoe, and then just kind of, heat up the end a little bit, but not too much because it's already been lit. So,
Correct.
all right. So moving on to frequently asked question number 3. And I like this one because I feel like it's weirdly controversial.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And it is, when should I stop smoking my cigar? What do you think?
Well, I mean, technically, I believe that the answer to that is whenever you stop enjoying it, which is where it gets controversial because somebody will put theirs out earlier than what you would, and then everybody's just like, "Oh, you pussy! Fucking pick up your cigar,
Yeah.
smoke it, whatever." But I mean, the whole thing with cigar smoking is it's about your enjoyment. For me, I usually hit, right about the band, maybe a little bit through the band is usually when, for me, cigars start burning a little too hot for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they start to taste, a lot of the flavor profile goes away. I hardly ever will nub a cigar just because it starts burning warm for me, and I just don't really like the flavors. So, I much prefer that cooler smoke, and I get it, pretty much all the way up until usually the band point for me.
Yeah.
So that's when I like it. But I know guys who will nub every single cigar they put out.
Sure.
But we also have a friend who's not a huge cigar smoker that would probably put his out right about here.
Sure, yeah.
Which is why we don't give him good cigars anymore.
Yeah, you always want to have those cigars at like in the section of your humidor where you're like, these are the ones I'm going to give out to the people who I'm not quite sure, if they're going to really enjoy this whole thing or not. So we definitely keep those around for some of our folks, but
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much just to echo kind of what you said is really just whenever you stop enjoying it, put it out. Like there's been cigars that I'm enjoying so much that I don't want to put down, and I do smoke to the nub. There have been cigars that, I just get to a certain point, I'm like, I'm done. I don't feel like smoking any more cigars, so I put it out. I've seen guys, guys all the time on like Twitter and stuff. We'll be conversing about smoking cigars and stuff, and they'll have like little pins, like little like almost like needles that they have, like so they can smoke it.
Yeah,
like a roach clip
poker.
or something, And that's not for me. I'm not that type of person. But I have nubbed, some cigars and I'm just like, damn, this thing is good all the way throughout. Sometimes you're just like really enjoying it. You just don't want to put it down. So just don't listen to people who tell you that there's a certain point you have to smoke it to. That's what's bothers me. It's like, just smoke it wherever you want to smoke it.
Right. And, also that being said, if I have some shit to do or something like that, and I know roughly the window that I have of time to smoke a cigar, I'm not going to be like, all right, so, 45 to an hour, I'm going to grab a Churchill.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be able to burn through that and put my cigar out, way earlier than I probably like. So time factors into that for me personally, into that question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, obviously, I've grabbed bigger cigars, and then time rolls on. I'm like, shit, I gotta go, and now I have to put out, a $13 cigar halfway through, and I'm not. And this is also controversial, but I'm not the type of guy to relight a cigar because to me, it tastes like donkey dick.
Yeah.
After you relight a cigar.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're like it just goes out a little bit on you, and you gotta like just relight it right there, and you kind of catch it, you're good. But if you just like straight up let it go out, and then like let it sit there,
go to work and come back 8 hours later and pick it up and light it.
No way.
Not for me.
No way.
Not for me.
So yeah, smoke it wherever you want it. you know, and if you do want to relight it 8 hours later, and you're cool with that, that's cool too. But not us.
Yeah, just don't tell me about it.
Yeah, right. All right. So frequently, and dude, I'm have like a cold. My voice is all over the place, and I'm
It's
like,
okay. It's funny because I had a cold the first time that we did it.
I know, right?
Our first episode.
I almost like can barely taste this, which kind of sucks, but it actually, I'm still enjoying what I can taste. So, but if you guys hear my like voice cracking like a 14-year-old, it's because I literally can't breathe out of my nose and have the driest mouth ever.
Because his balls just dropped today.
Well, that's true. Right,
Finally came off his dad's
right
insurance.
into your mother's mouth.
My mom's dead, but that's great.
Because of my dick. All right. Anyway,
So moving on to our next question.
Okay. Can I smoke my cigars right after I buy them, or as the term that I enjoy saying is
right off the truck?
Smoke 'em right, brother. Can I smoke 'em right off the truck?
Yeah. So a little bit of information. You'll probably see it in Facebook groups and stuff. People will do the abbreviation ROTT, which means right off the truck. There's a lot of people that'll say, I'm going to smoke this one right, which means right off the truck. So basically, get your cigar, light it up at the fucking mailbox, and then go.
Can I just disclaimer that like we have this like I feel like we have this kind of rolling joke of this like what I'm now going to start coining as FGG, Facebook group guy. Or it's just this, there's these fucking guys out there. They're all the same. That just say these stereotypical Facebook group things. And one of them is like, smoke 'em right. And I love every one of you who does that. Like,
Yeah.
constant source of entertainment.
We're talking about the kinds of dudes who, if you post your cigar and you're like, oh, there's 28 beetle holes in here, there's even beetles on it, they're like, smoke it if you got it, brother.
Smoke it if you got it, brother. Fuck a beetle. Adds flavor.
So we like to kind of poke fun at that.
So those are the FGGs, Facebook group guys.
Luckily, we do not have that many in my group.
No,
we try to filter those out.
Yeah. I don't know that. I like if I see one, I just enjoy it. I just enjoy his passion, the passion of an FGG. So if you're an FGG, I fuck with you. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Can I smoke them right off the truck, right after I buy them?
I'll explain this the way that I do it. So if I get 10 or more cigars, I'll probably try one, within a couple days. I mean, I've never grabbed a cigar out of the box and lit it up. Just never did that. I, at the very, very least, like to let it sit in my wine for at least, a couple days, just so it can try to acclimate to my conditions. Okay. The reason I do that is because, first of all, you get cigars delivered from, a warm place in the U.S. in dead winter, and then you go to work and they come around noon, sitting outside in the freezing cold all day. You don't want to take it out and fucking torch it. You know what I mean? So I do like to give my cigars at least a couple days before I do smoke them, if I smoke one right off the truck. But my rule of thumb is if I have 10 or more cigars, I'll try one, that's a little bit more fresher, just to see how it tastes. Because, believe it or not, I have had cigars that to me taste better newer than they do, with age.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the number thing, if I have 10 or more, I know, it's not like I'm going to buy a single of something that I've really been wanting to try, light it up and be like, oh, I hate it. No time to age it. So that's kind of my theory on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you also don't really know the conditions of, the warehouse that you got these cigars from, or how long they sat there.
Sure.
Or anything like that. So that's why, I would recommend, you can do it your own way, but I recommend that if you get cigars, to at least maybe a week, let them sit in your conditions, in your humidor, so that way they can acclimate to your ideal, humidity and temperature that you like to keep your cigars at.
Well, I'm gonna say that the complete opposite, and that if you smoke so little that you have cigars storing in your humidor, then I mean, do you even smoke, brother? I mean, no, I'm just kidding. No, I would agree with you 100%. Although I have smoked some rot, as they say.
Yep.
Actually, the other day I enjoyed that Rocky Patel 06.
Oh yeah,
Um,
got the
and that was pretty much. I think it sat in my humidor for one day
yeah
because I got those on Friday and we watched El Camino on
on
Saturday,
and we smoked that.
and I
Well,
smoked
you
it.
smoked it,
And
yeah.
I'll tell you what, I really like that cigar. You know, not
And that could be a case of you let it age and you're like smoke it later.
yeah,
All right, I like these younger, because I do
Yeah.
have cigars like that, and I'll be like, I'm really in the mood for this cigar, and I'll just grab one or two and then smoke it
Mhm.
younger, and then
Yep.
problem solved.
Yeah, and I mean, I just was like, I really wanted. I just smoked that Oscar Maduro on the podcast,
Yes.
San Andreas wrapper, and I enjoyed it so much that when those Rocky came in, those are the only other San Andreas wrapper cigars I had, and I really wanted this. I was like, man, I just really want to smoke another San Andreas wrapper and see if it's, see if I enjoy it as much. And that's all I had. So I was like, well, screw it. Let me smoke it. It's only been here a day. I mean, I got them from Fox Cigar. Shout out Fox Cigar. And I hope that they keep their inventory pretty humidified. And they came with little Bovedas in the bag. So I wasn't too worried about it, but I enjoyed it. But then again, I have smoked cigars that I bought, straight from a shop that were, didn't seem to be properly humidified or.
No, and I mean, my thing is, I'll go into a shop, buy a cigar, and light it up right away. But
Sure.
I mean, they're keeping it in conditions. I mean, my thing is when you get it from online retailers, you don't always know. Have these been sitting on a pallet, for
Right.
weeks, months, whatever. I mean,
Hard to tell.
yeah, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
And you also don't know. I mean, cigars go through, and I think that's something a lot of people don't realize is cigars go through so much various changes from the time that they're rolled, they're packaged, they're shipped, from wherever they're made, Nicaragua, wherever, and they're shipped here to the U.S. and dispersed to several different shops across the country, and then they're shipped off to you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they go through a lot of various changes.
Yeah.
So that's why, again, I just recommend, at minimum like a week. If you can't wait a week,
Yeah.
But
Can't wait a week. Go find one at your shop where it is humidified.
ultimately, what it comes down to, ultimately, what any of this comes down to is, they're your cigars. You spend the money on them. That's you do whatever you want to do with them.
Yeah.
Everybody finds their own groove of how they want to do things and their own techniques. So just like with really anything else involved with cigars, play around with what you think, because your palate is completely different than mine. You may like every single cigar fresh out the box as soon as you open it, and that's cool if you do.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna dog anybody for that. I'll
Right.
dog you if you cut the motherfucker flat. 'Cause it's probably my top fucking pet peeve ever.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably dog you for that, but in a little lighthearted, fun way.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
That's because we're dudes. That's what we do. We dog each other.
Absolutely, we're douches. You said
Yeah.
douches?
I said dudes. Douches.
Douches.
Same thing. All right. So, and then we got one more. This was we didn't know if we were going to ask this one or not, but I like this question. So I'm going to ask it. What is your humidor recommendation? I'll start it off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I figured you would.
My recommendation, I guess there's kind of levels to the recommendation on, I guess how kind of serious you're getting. But I mean, to be quite honest, for the longest time, I got away with a Tupperware just fine, which if you guys don't know what a Tupperware is, it's a nice, tight, sealed piece of Tupperware, that could hold, you can get them as big or as small as you need. If you're holding 10 cigars, if you're holding 50 cigars, some of them are, you can get up to like a cooler. Some people do cooladors, can hold hundreds of cigars. But
Yep.
That's, for me, has always worked. I'm not going to say it's what I'll have forever. I mean, I have that, and I have a wooden humidor that Joey was nice enough to gift to me when he got his newest humidor. And I love the wooden one too. I like the cedar, the smell of it, everything like that. But the consistency with the wooden humidors, I did have one prior to this one that Joey gave me as well. It's just kind of harder to maintain. And I'm kind of the type of person who won't meticulously maintain stuff to the degree that I should.
Right.
I kind of like to set it and leave it. And so for that, Boveda has never steered me wrong. Slap a couple of those in my Tupperware, and that thing is good to go. So, I keep a majority of my stuff that I'm not, actively smoking. in my tupperwares, and then I keep, the stuff that I think I'm gonna start, smoking and rolling through in my wooden humidor because it does look nice and it also is easier to access, with the nice little drawers that I have and all that. So, but yeah, for me, can't go wrong with a tupperware.
Yeah. So I mean, I started out with a wooden humidor myself, and then over the years, I just kind of transitioned. I kind of got to the point where I never really cared about looks. You know what I mean? So, I think that one thing that you need to tackle is a lot of people, and I get it, because cigars are artwork. A lot of hardworking hands goes into making these. A lot of passion goes into it. So I think that you should put some thought into how you want to display your cigars. I mean, all of my cigars are kept in my bedroom. I don't display them out. I know a lot of people that have cigars, like their humidors in their living room and stuff like that, and that's cool. I'm
Yeah.
not against that at all. Um, but my wife would kill me. So I keep everything in my bedroom, and I have a coolador myself that I have cigars in. And just fill it up with your cigars. I mean, I stack them. You can buy, shelves, like cedar shelves and so forth,
Yeah.
to kind of keep it more, organized. And then just dump, shit ton of Bovida in there. Go online, figure out, how many Bovida, you need per, X amount of cigars, and toss them in there. Throw in your hygrometer, and no issues. I've never had any issues with my coolador ever.
Hmm.
But recently, it's probably been about 2 months now, I'd say. I wanted a Winador for quite a while now, and I just never bought one. But I found the CC100H by New Air, which is a 250, 300, cigar. I probably have about 300 some in mine right now, comfortably, and I can still fit plenty more. Reason I like the Winador, excuse me, is because it I can set the temperature that I want my cigars to be at, so it's just more maintained. And then I think you're getting me sick. And
It's
then
because we were making out earlier.
so anyways, so
Just throw you all
I'm
off.
able to set it at the temperature that I want it to be at. And then I bought a Bovida Butler, which is like the size of a key fob. I mean, it's smaller than this Zycar Verano lighter. And what it does is it's your hygrometer, but you can do it with an app on your phone, and I can check the temperature and the relative humidity of my Winador. So my Winador, I plugged the hole, just so no extra leaks are coming. I mean, it was already plugged, but so no extra air or anything's leaking. I keep it plugged in. I keep it, about 68, 69 degrees. And then my humidity is always around 68, 69. That's typically my preference. And then I just throw, however many Bovidas in there. And no issues. I mean, my humidity is spot on every time I look at it. It fluctuates between about 67 to 69, which is where I like it. And then the temperature is just always spot on. So I really like it. And it looks pretty neat. I mean,
Yeah, it's nice looking. It's an investment for sure,
yeah,
but
I mean, it's, you're looking to spend, a few $100s on one, but,
yeah,
I mean, in the long term, it's so much easier to maintain than a lot of other things out there. You get a lot of these humidors that have glass tops or glass fronts, and a lot of times you have to seal those up to make sure there's no air leaking out, make sure
yeah,
it has a good seal. I mean, this thing is it's a wine cooler, okay? So it fucking seals perfectly. And then just the fact that I can set my own temperature and keep it at that no matter
yeah,
what. I mean, my wife and I in the mornings now, because it's getting colder here in Virginia, have been turning our heat up in the house to about 75, 76. And then my humidor is set at 68, and it stays at 68. So it's easier to just maintain. So my recommendation is either a cooler, which is cheap, seals perfectly, and fits everything that you need. Or if, later on, if you want to dish out, a few $100, New Air is the brand that I have, and I highly recommend them. I paid like 200 and like 20, $230 for mine, which is not terrible,
no, not at
for
all.
300 some cigars. And it's a cool piece of machine.
Yeah, if you can afford it and you need something that to hold high level of inventory of cigars. I think it's definitely one of the best routes to go for sure. I've checked his out and I think it's pretty awesome. So
Yeah.
so yeah, so that wraps up our frequently asked questions. If you guys have more frequently asked questions or questions you just want to ask, I guess, that maybe become frequently asked, uh, hit us up and let us know so we can talk about this again in future episodes.
Right.
So let's move them on to the cigar news. Um, I am going to start that off with one that I saw that I was pretty excited about.
I'm pretty excited about this
Yeah.
one too.
This one is cool. So if you guys don't know who Nick Offerman is, then fuck you. No, I'm kidding. Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swanson, or played Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, which is a fantastic show, one of my favorite shows. I'm sure you'd say the same.
Yes. Yeah.
So Ron Swanson, Nick Offerman, is getting his own scotch courtesy of Lagavulin.
Which you're very excited about this because your favorite is Lagavulin anyways.
Yes. Yeah. Lagavulin is definitely, one of my favorite scotches, if not my favorite scotch. It's probably between that and the Macallan 10-year.
Yeah.
Which, if it's funny, is they're kind of different, but I probably lean more towards the Lagavulin because I really like what they call peaty scotches, which they kind of have that campfirey taste to them. So I'm not sure what Nick Offerman's, if it's going to be in that same vein. I would assume it probably is. Yeah, it says here that it carries the signature Lagavulin peatiness,
Yeah.
but with extra spices and notes of dry fruit to carry the smoke. So, I don't know if it has. Yeah, it's just called the Offerman edition, and it's pretty cool. I'll put the link up. It's got his face.
It's a nice bottle.
Yeah, it's a really cool looking bottle. It's got a picture of him, kind of hand drawn picture of him looking super manly with his manly ass beard and stuff. And I'm just really excited when we when we took our trip up to DC, Joey and I, and we went to Shelly's back room and we ate steaks and smoked cigars. I purposefully ordered a Lagavulin with all of that, sort of as an homage to one of the scenes where he's like eating. I can't remember where they go, but he's like basically
Turf and turf.
Yeah, the turf and turf,
Yeah.
where he's like, I'm gonna, it's like two different steaks, and
Yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna smoke a cigar and drink this scotch because I'm an American.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I'm pretty much strive to have a similar life to that,
Yeah, of
or
course.
at least similar experience. So yeah, that's a very cool thing that we will look out for, and if we can afford it, we might drink some on here. Or if one of you guys is nice enough, or gals is nice enough to gift it to us, I'll send you my P.O. box.
That's always our preferred method.
Yeah.
Totally joking.
All right, so what's next? What else we got?
So I wanted to share this one. This was actually released probably, like earlier October. The article actually says October 8th, but I forgot to talk about this last week. But, and I'm not trying to shit shame any brands at all, but everybody has their brands that they just haven't really been that fond of. For me, Gurkha's just never really delivered, in terms of price compared to the construction and the flavors I got out of most of the Gurkhas.
Mhm.
The Gurkha Ghost is a fantastic cigar. I love that cigar, but a lot of the others that I've had are just not really worth the price point. So, that being said, they have a cigar that I'm super excited about. So the Gurkha Nicaragua series is heading to stores. The Nicaragua series by Gurkha is rolled only with tobaccos grown by Aganorsa. Aganorsa tobacco is a huge name in tobacco. We
Yes.
just smoked the Guardian of the Farm Night Watch, which is Max Fernandez's solo project from Aganorsa Leaf. We have a review of that, which we'll be posting up soon as well. And Aganorsa, there's Aganorsa and Warped are very, they collaborate on a lot of things. So, there's a lot of Aganorsa tobacco and a lot of the Warp products. There's Aganorsa in the Cloud Hopper.
Mhm.
So, I'm pretty excited about that. It's a Nicaraguan Puro. It's on its way to a cigar shop near you. If your cigar shop is one of the chosen few. The Nicaragua series by Gurkha is made with a Corojo 99 wrapper, 2 Corojo 99 binders, and a filler mix of Corojo 99 and Criollo 98 filler. All of the tobaccos were grown by Aganorsa and Agriculture, owned by Eduardo Fernandez.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited about that, and we'll probably try to grab those if we can and do a review on them. because I think it's going to be pretty interesting to get
Yeah,
that
I'd like to give it a shot because, like
from
you
Gurkha.
said, some of the Gurkhas we've had, not the biggest fans of. Some we are the fans of. So this sounds like something we could get into. Like you said, the Aganor Salif.
Yeah, I mean, this has like
Um,
every kind of tobacco that I personally
yeah,
like.
I mean it's literally similar. Criollo and Corojo filler is what I'm smoking here in this, and this is fantastic so far. So if it's anything akin to the Cloud Hopper, that'd be pretty awesome. So next is something else we're both pretty excited about. Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve goes to retail and adds flying pig sizes. Imagine that. They're just going to eventually make everything in a flying pig on Injure Estate. I feel like it's just,
Right, right.
it's eventually coming.
But it's a fun size.
It is a fun size. I personally like it. I like it more in some cigars than others. But this is pretty cool. The Pappy Van Winkle, you could speak more to it. I've got one resting in my humidor that I'm saving kind of for a special something. I don't know what, a special episode or something like that. So I haven't got quite on the Pappy Van Winkle hype wagon yet, but I'm still waiting to. But it is kind of cool that that they're gonna add the flying pig size, and it's going to be released to Drew Diplomat retailers across the country. So I guess if your shop is a Drew Diplomat retailer, which I don't know, do you know what that entails? You just have to be a distributor or a certain level, maybe. Or
I know Drew Diplomat is like an app, and it's like members, you sign up and so forth. I like Drew Estate. I love a lot of Drew Estate stuff, but I'm not what one would call a Drew Estate whore. Um, there's plenty of other brands that I much rather prefer. So I've never gotten to the Drew Diplomat thing. But I'm excited about that. I mean,
yeah, you do like the Pappy though pretty well,
the
right?
Pappy's a very good cigar. I like the traditional a little bit better. Shoot me, I know, but I like the traditional Pappy Van Winkle cigar.
Okay.
To me, it tastes better, and it captures. It's one of those cigars that when you have it and you smoke it, it encaptures everything that I would want out of a cigar.
Yeah.
At least a few that I've had.
Yeah.
So I am very excited about that, and I will try the pig. I'll try the pig.
Yeah, I want to try. I definitely want to try the pig.
Yeah, see how that goes.
They're pretty cool. So yeah, that's exciting. So look out for those, and we'll probably snack some of those too. I'm sure at some point if we can get them. So what else you got for them?
Keeping it in with the Drew Estate, I actually saw this today, and this has kind of struck a lot of people. But Fabian Ziegler is leaving Drew Estate. Fabian has been quite the presence. I mean, you see him on social media all the time. Smoke what Fabian smokes, and I love following him. Just an interesting guy. So Drew Estate has announced that Fabian Ziegler, director of consumer engagement, is leaving the company to pursue other interests. Fabian is a 22-year veteran of Drew Estate who served as an ambassador, working on the sales and marketing ends, most recently leading Drew Estate's consumer engagement team. He has also served as a face for Drew Estate's infused cigar business. And that's going to be a big loss. I mean, there's comments. We could post the link. I don't really want to read all of that, but Fabian and Drew, Jonathan Drew himself, made some comments about it. But you always hate to see, it's more not a hate, it's a bittersweet thing to see people that you followed over the years kind of pursue other things, selfishly.
Yeah.
But best of luck to Fabian, and
yeah, we're excited to see what you do in the
see
future.
what he's up to.
Yeah, maybe he'll go start his own deal and still continue to make awesome cigars. So
could be.
Yep.
And then I have one last thing to share, unless you have something else.
No, go ahead.
So this one I'm very excited about. So Viaje Halloween releases arrive at retailers. Killer brand. They make a lot of crazy cigar blends. They have one now coming out called the Full Moon. 3 seasonal releases for Halloween have hit retailers this past week. Since its original release in 2013, there have been several iterations of the Full Moon. The 2019 edition is a Nicaraguan Puro in a 5x58 format, so a little bit bigger of a ring gauge. The original size of the Full Moon when it was released in 2013. Also released is the Full Moon Edition Limitada That features a San Andreas Maduro wrapper over Nicaraguan tobacco. So that's going to be an amazing cigar with the tobaccos that they have in there. It's also being released in the 5x58. Both the Full Moon and Full Moon Edition Limitada are packaged in 25 count boxes. Finally, the Viaje Ghost Pepper has returned. I have had those
Ooh.
before. Those are really good.
Yeah.
And then the Viaje Ghost Pepper was the second release of the pepper series.
Mhm.
This year's version differs from the original in that it is in a slightly larger format than the original, measuring 5 and 3/16 by 55. It is also being packaged as a white label project release, similar to the release of another Viaje Pepper release, the Viaje GP 1031. The Ghost Pepper is presented in 20 count cabinet boxes.
Sweet.
So if you've been a fan of the Ghost Pepper, I personally am, and I'm looking for some. So they're coming back out, and just in time for Halloween as well. If you're looking for, something to kind of get you in the mood for Halloween, they're putting those out.
Yeah.
And it's pretty
Oh,
exciting.
we might have to,
A lot of
consider
news
that
this week,
If we
really.
can come across one of those for Halloween, that'd be cool. But we have a couple ideas floating around, so
Mhm.
so we'll see. So yeah, so that wraps up the news. A bunch of different cool things going on in our industry. We always like to keep you guys up to date on that.
Yeah, there is.
I feel like it's important, because that's just how we feel. And don't
much.
question us. So, all right, cool. So, final part of this is just gonna be kind of a fun, goofy trivia questionnaire on cigar knowledge. We don't even know. You can probably speak to because you found this. I mean, this was just kind of something you found perusing the internet, or
I haven't read. I read like maybe one or two questions, but I mean, I didn't take the quiz. But yeah, I saw it popped up on Facebook or Instagram, something like that, somewhere along the lines. And I was like, you know what, this would be pretty fun for us to take and
yeah,
see if we're idiots or not.
see if we know our cigar trivia. All right, so let's go through this. This is gonna be cool. I like
Okay.
this. All right, so question number 1: which is the darkest color cigar wrapper? A. Oscuro, B. Claro, C. Maduro, and D. Colorado.
Oscuro.
Oscuro. Okay,
Mm.
we know that. Oscuro is definitely the darkest color cigar wrapper. All right, so what are the 3 parts of a hand rolled cigar?
Wrapper, filler, binder.
Wrapper, filler, binder.
Oh, is that one of the? What's the other ones?
Well, they have wrapper, leaf, label. Wrapper, filler, label. No. Label, cover, center.
What?
No. Wrapper, binder, filler.
Yeah.
It's wrapper, binder,
Yeah.
filler. All right. What is the name of the tobacco grown in the United States that is most often used for a high quality cigar wrappers? Cuban seed, Tampa, Connecticut shade,
Yeah.
or Colorado red. It's Connecticut shade.
shade,
Yeah. Which, I mean, that I don't. Does that? Okay. Yeah, I get that question now. Grown in the United States, that is often.
Well, it's also wrapper.
Yeah, I get that. It seemed like they almost made it seem like at first that like only high quality cigars have Connecticut wrappers, which isn't necessarily the case. But
Yeah.
hey, this is a random thing on the internet. So, which group of names has at least one member who has not appeared on the cover of Cigar Aficionado magazine? The first category of names, group of names: Rudy Giuliani, Winston Churchill, and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's not that one. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger has been on the CA Mac.
Well, it says at least one member who has not
Oh,
appeared.
okay.
So hold on, let's get through the things here. So Rudy Giuliani, Winston Churchill, Arnold Schwarzenegger. B, in fact, they have all appeared. This is kind of weird because you're picking a group. C, Raquel Welch, Sharon Stone, and Bo Derek.
I don't know who that is, but that just sounds fake.
That doesn't sound right. I mean, Sharon Stone and I don't know. Okay, and then C, Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Chuck Norris.
I would say the one with the people that I have no idea who they are.
Has at least one member who has not. So you think that Winston Churchill Was Cigar Aficionado around when Winston Churchill would have been on the cover?
Oh, I have no idea, but
Because that kind of threw me off as Winston Churchill. I mean, he smoked a lot of cigars. It would make sense if Cigar Aficionado existed in his time period, then yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And then Rudy Giuliani, I have no idea.
I know Rudy Giuliani's a big cigar smoker.
He is, okay, so that makes sense. And we definitely know Arnold has.
Yes.
So maybe not A then. Let's pretend that Winston Churchill could have made it onto a cover at some point.
Okay.
He probably, like, even, because, now I'm thinking about it, like, they could have put him on posthumously, whatever, however you say that. Okay, so Raquel Welch, Sharon Stone, and Bo Derek, or Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Chuck Norris. I have no idea if Chuck Norris smokes cigars.
Yeah, I don't either.
I definitely know Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
has to have been on the cover because he was in our episode last week about infamous cigar smokers. Wayne Gretzky though, maybe.
See, I don't know.
This is a tough one.
Let's do that one. Let's do that one. Only because Wayne Gretzky
or Chuck Norris
and Chuck Norris.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I mean Raquel Welch, Sharon Stone, and Bo Derek could be it, but we don't even know those people, so we don't even. We'll take the best educated guess we can.
Yeah.
Number 5. What is the finding of the Surgeon General of the United States concerning cigars? Cigars are unsafe, but secondhand cigar smoke is safe. That's not.
Yeah, that's
not true. Cigars are safe as long as you do not inhale.
Yeah.
Cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes.
No, it's that one. I can tell you that right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, are not a safe alternative to cigarettes?
Yes, cigars are definitely not a safe alternative to cigarettes.
Well, I mean, I guess I think in comparison they're probably safer than cigarettes, though. Maybe if it's a
what's the last one?
Cigars are a safe alternative to cigarettes.
No, it's not that one.
Yeah. So I don't know. Cigars are safe as long as you do not.
I'm saying C. I mean, you can pick whatever. If you're wrong, then you're wrong. But I'm saying C on that one.
Yeah, I think so too, because I know the FDA said that 2 cigars a day is not that bad for you, but I don't know about the Surgeon General if that's associated or not. So we'll say cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes. We'll go with that one, but could be B also. All right, 6. Cigars are categorized by their length and what other measurement?
Girth
tones. Yeah, the first thing is ring size. It's definitely not circumference. It's definitely not weight. And it's definitely not balance point.
Oh yeah, it's definitely ring size.
So,
I feel like this is almost too easy.
It's a little easy, but it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. I gotta relight my cigar here because I'm running my mouth instead of. This is one of those moments where it's okay to relight your cigar because you're shooting a podcast and you're talking and you're doing all sorts of other stuff, and I'm torching this now. So, all right, which is not the name of a size/style of cigar? Piramado, Figurado, Robusto, or Lancer? Piramado. Or Pyromado. I don't know what that Piramado, something like that.
There's Pyramid A.
Yeah.
But not Piramado.
There's Pyramid cigarettes. Okay, number 8. Who introduced tobacco to Europe? Marco Polo, Christopher Columbus, Lafayette, or Sir Walter Raleigh?
Lafayette from True Blood?
What a fool.
Honestly,
Scratch the whole episode. This guy.
Honestly, I have no idea.
I have zero clue, dude. Marco Polo?
I mean, I feel like not. I doubt it was Christopher Columbus.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like Walter Raleigh.
Sir Walter Raleigh? I don't even know if I've heard that name.
I mean,
I don't think it's Lafayette. I don't think it's Christopher Columbus. So maybe either Marco. Let's go with Sir Walter Raleigh of Raleigh, North Carolina. No, I don't know if that's where he's from. Okay. Number 9. Is there any way for an American to buy a Cuban cigar legally? A, yes, if it's smoked outside the country. Hey, this is a stupid question already. I don't like this question at all, but let's, for the sake of this quiz. Yes, but only if it's made from pre-embargo tobacco. No, it is in violation of the Trading with Enemies Act. Or yes, if the money comes from a Swiss account. Obviously, it's D.
Yeah.
If you have a Swiss bank account,
Yeah, of course.
you can purchase whatever the hell you want.
Up.
No, I don't know, man. What do you think?
Well, the answers are almost too long for me to remember. So my mom always said, when all else fails, go with C. But
in this case,
which one?
Trading with Enemies Act? I don't think that's
no,
a
it's not
thing.
that one. I would go with B.
Yeah, yes, but only if it's made from pre-embargo tobacco.
Yeah, I mean that still technically doesn't make sense.
Well, technically, I guess you can buy Cubans outside of the country.
Well, yeah, but it says,
is there any way for an American to buy a
If
Cuban
it's-
cigar legally? I think both of those are right because don't they like say like, oh,
well, yeah, but
pre-embargo
outside of what country?
outside of this country? I mean, you're still an American. You're just in Europe buying a. I mean, technically,
Look, I
that's
don't know,
right.
dude. I get my Cubans from people in the group that know a lot more about
Right.
Cubans than I do.
I hear you.
So no clue. We did, however, meet a fellow in DC from Dubai who said that their brick and mortar shops are nothing but Cuban cigars. So,
See, that's what I'm saying. If
pretty
we went to
interesting.
Dubai, technically we could buy one legally. So technically, A is correct.
go with that one.
So let's go with that one. Number 10, final question. You buy a cigar to smoke on your birthday, which is 3 months away. What are the optimum conditions to store a cigar for that length of time? Oh my God.
Stupid. What are the answers?
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, this is a super subjective question. I mean, there's not, there is technically a right, but it's sort of a range. But anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's also
so-
preference. But
exactly.
whatever.
So it's kind of a difficult multiple choice answer, but 80 degrees Fahrenheit and 20% humidity.
Fuck yes.
Well, I mean, if you want them Beatles,
yeah.
add that freaking nice, earthy flavor.
If you want fucking super dry ass fucking cigars.
65 degrees Fahrenheit and 70% humidity. 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 90% humidity. Or D, cigars cannot be stored for that long, 3 months.
65 degrees and 70.
65 and 70. That is definitely not a hard rule.
No.
We were talking about earlier. You can keep them at 70 and 70. You can keep them at 67 and 67, 65 and 66. You can, whatever. Some people like a drier, humidity a little bit because sometimes the burn's a little better. Some people say you get better flavor out of drier. Some people say you get better flavor out of more humid.
Comes down to that palate.
Yep.
Best tool you have.
All right, we're going to submit our answers. All right, number 1. Which is the darkest color cigar wrapper? Oscuro. We got that correct. 57% of players have answered correctly on that one. Number 2. What are the 3 parts of a hand-rolled cigar? Wrapper, binder, filler was our answer. That was correct.
No way. 40% people got that wrong.
Yeah, 60% of players have answered that correctly.
It cannot be in the cigar.
Yeah, no. What is the name of tobacco grown in the United States that is most often used for high-quality cigar wrappers? Connecticut Shade was our answer. That was correct. Yeah. 55% of players have answered that correctly. Again, we don't even know how many people have taken this, but... number 4. Which group of names has at least one member who has not appeared on the cover of Cigar Aficionado? Our answer was Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Chuck Norris. The correct answer was, in fact, they have all appeared. So
see,
all
I
those
don't even
names,
know who the fuck Bo Derek is.
Me neither. If somebody knows who Bo Derek is, please comment and let us know. But
dude, you know what's crazy to me? Reading that, it says 81% of people got that right. So 40% of people that took this test had no idea the 3 components of a cigar. But 81% knew about Cigar Aficionado.
You know why I think that is? Because that's one of those basically all of the above answers. And a lot of people, when taking a test, if they see all of the above, they just choose that.
That's a good
so
point.
I bet you that's why.
Except us. We thought about it too much.
Yeah, exactly. Number 5. What is the finding of the Surgeon General of the United States concerning cigars? Cigars are not a safe alternative to cigarettes. You got that right. 90% of players answered that correctly. So
I actually print those labels. So I know this.
Number 6, cigars are categorized by their length and what other measurement. We knew that was ring size. That was correct. 56%. Okay, this thing, people apparently get the easiest ones wrong and the hardest ones right. Number 7, which is not the name of a size/style of cigar. Piramado was indeed correct. Not a cigar size. It's a made-up word. Number 8, who introduced tobacco to Europe? We answered Sir Walter Raleigh. It is not Christopher Columbus.
See, I was thinking maybe that, but that just made too much sense to me.
Yeah, why didn't okay, so Christopher Columbus found natives in the New World smoking tobacco and brought the product back to Europe for him. The natives had been using the plant for at least 2,000 years. You know, that's funny. For some reason, I thought that tobacco already existed and that they were searching for more of it. But I guess I was wrong in that. That just might be because I haven't been in history class in years. But
I don't know. The furthest I go back is like piracy
yeah,
in history. Because
yeah. I thought discovering the New World for some reason was about having more area to grow tobacco or something.
let's
But
just realize that number 9, if we chose what I said, it would have been right.
is there any way for an American to buy a Cuban legally? We answered yes if smoked outside of the country. The correct answer was yes, but only if it's made from pre-embargo tobacco. I think that both of those answers are correct, though. I mean, if you're in another country and Cubans are legal, you can legally buy them, and there's no. Let's see what it says. Since the 1962 embargo, Cuban tobacco is off limits to U.S. citizens, even when purchased outside the U.S. Really?
Well, hold on. How old is this test?
Right.
First, because I mean, obviously the Cuban embargo has been lifted, and you can buy them now.
But wasn't it put back on sort of a little bit or no?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if this is dated at all.
Mm-hmm. This fucker just keeps on. 1 minute it's like super lit, and then the next minute, not at all.
You are talking a lot.
Yeah, I'm doing most of the talking here. So, um, number 9 we did get incorrect. I guess it's apparently somebody. If there's anybody who knows more about that, please enlighten us. Because I thought if you went somewhere else, even if you were a U.S. citizen, you could still buy a Cuban cigar. But apparently, this says you cannot.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, none of that really mattered to me. It's like I said, I have people in the group, that I usually
yeah, we
buy
have our
samplers
ways.
or something off of, where I Havanas is where I get a lot of my stuff. But and then number 10 was about the storing conditions of your cigar. Obviously, I mean, if anybody, what percentage of people got that right?
64%.
All right, well, I'll take that.
I can understand that. Some people probably think, oh, you got to have them at 90% humidity because they hear the word
Right.
humidor and just think it's
Yeah.
got to be humid as shit. But
Yeah, no shit. That's how you
um,
get those beetles.
so we got a 7 out of 10. The average score for this quiz was 6 out of 10. I guess we know enough.
No, we would have got 8.
Yeah, we would have got 8, but that was my fault, guys. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
Just that whole pre-embargo tobacco thing's a crock of shit. I think anyway, they could put like one tiny leaflet of pre-embargo tobacco in there and that would qualify.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's it, guys. That's the podcast.
That's it for today.
That's what we have for you today. Why don't you give them some final notes on your cigar? We'll wrap it up because we've probably been longer than we already planned to, as always.
And just FYI, we always plan to keep these 45 minutes or so, and then they just run over. But
We just have fun talking about cigars.
We do. I like the Robusto better for sure of the La Madrina, but the Toro is very good. A lot of the same profile. The red pepper, which I really liked from the Robusto. It's died off a little bit quicker here. I mean, after about the first third, I like switched to a very subdued little bit of a black pepper zing, but not that spicy red pepper that I like. The vanilla sweetness definitely came through, and that's been pretty consistent. Milk chocolate, coffee, cedar, not so much now, but cedar started out. Very complex cigar, very good. Burn's been a little wonky, but I usually chalk that up to us talking and moving around and so forth. Cigar going out, having to relight it, et cetera, et cetera. But if you get a chance, check out the La Madrina by Dapper Cigars. I'd probably give this 4.8 out of 5 Kick-Ass Donkeys.
4.8 Kick-Ass Donkeys. That's a pretty good score, man. That's a pretty good score. Cloud Hopper for me, fantastic smoke. Had to relight it a couple times again because we were getting long-winded there. But the burn throughout it was perfect. Razor sharp pretty much throughout. Never really got, off kilter. Basically, all my touch-ups were just doing to have to relighting it. Like I said, I'm a little under the weather, so my palate doesn't like, the easiest thing to hone in on right now. But for me, there's this cigar, really no like sweetness or anything in this for me. It was pretty much pretty consistent throughout with some black pepper, a little bit of cocoa, some leather, and some wood notes that were really good. it does have quite a bit of that flavor. Like it's a very strong flavor. Draw was really good. I really like this size. The kind of thinner ring gauge, smaller ring gauge, thinner cigar. So I'm gonna say 4.7 kick ash donkeys out of 5 for me.
Very good. Can't wait to see what rating it gets when you're not sick.
Yes. Yeah. I think it might even be better if that were the case. But Cloud Hopper from Warp Cigars is awesome. You guys should check that out, and you guys should also check out our social medias, which I completely screw up every time. So I'm gonna let Joey shout those out to you right now. Where can they find us?
You can find us on Instagram at Team Kickash, or just search Kickin Ash and that'll come up. You can also find our podcast on Spotify. And we are in the cigar group, Cigar Society on Facebook. If you ever get a chance, you want to join a good cigar group, Cigar Society. You can find me on there, and Logan as well, and a lot of other cool guys. And we just have fun and shit talk each other and talk cigars, and it's fun.
Yep.
So check us out. We record these every Monday, and then they're usually released a couple days after, but they are weekly. And we're just starting to do more filler videos. We have a review coming up as well. We're going to put in there. And with our feed, and then of course YouTube is probably one of our biggest platforms right now. Is all of our podcasts and all of our videos go in there as well. So check us out on all those platforms. And I'm never the one that ends it all, so it doesn't feel right.
So check us out there. We got more stuff coming. Reviews are coming up.
Next
things like
Monday, Halloween episode.
Yes, Halloween episode.
Excited.
Check that out. We got a bunch of cool stuff planned for that. So, guys, with that being said, there's really one last thing to say, and that's have a kick-ass day.
If you get up there.